Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I want to talk to you about some nerd news real quick. Apparently, according to Giant Frickin' Robot, Harrison Ford has filmed some scenes for an upcoming Star Wars project as Han Solo. Again, this is according to Giant Freaking Robot and their very trusted source. What project it is not known, although the theory is that it's either The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett, which of course makes the most sense. And it's also been reported, I guess, or they've learned, they say, that the scenes involved Harrison Ford having to be de-aged. And of course, that also makes sense because the character's dead. So this has to be a flashback. And it's not apparently a flashback to more recent Han Solo adventures. And that makes sense because the options they have are Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, which take place before The Force Awakens, but after Jedi. So it's most likely he's going to show up, I think, in Boba Fett, obviously because of his connection to Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt and Tatooine and Jabba's palace, which of course is the location that Book of Boba Fett takes place at. So if all of these things are true, we're going to end up seeing Han Solo once again, a younger Han Solo, in one of those two shows, probably the Book of Boba Fett, and that is seriously awesome. So I'm psyched about that. We'll have to see, of course, whether or not it's true. Again, this comes from Giant Frickin' Robot and a trusted source of theirs. Okay, so the other piece of nerd news that I want to talk to you about real quick is that it's being reported in Entertainment Weekly, at least at EW.com, that Gotham Knights is being developed as a TV series for the CW. And it will follow the adventures of Bruce Wayne's rebellious adopted son in the wake of Bruce Wayne's murder, as he's forced to forge an alliance with the children of Batman's enemies after they're all framed for killing Bruce Wayne / Batman. Now, just who is Batman's rebellious adopted son? Well, the theory is that this is Tim Drake, who in the comics is, of course, Robin, but then eventually becomes Red Robin. I wasn't aware that he was rebellious as such, and I wasn't aware that he was adopted, but I guess he's both. My thinking was that it could be Damian Wayne, who of course is Bruce's biological son, but who may also have been adopted by him, and he was certainly rebellious. So I don't know. I feel like it could be Damian Wayne, but the theory is that it's Tim Drake, and I guess Bruce is murdered or killed, and this son of Bruce's and the children of Batman's enemies are all framed for the murder, meaning none of them did it, but they're being, I guess, prosecuted for it or sought in connection with it as the guilty parties. And so this is going to be a show about them dealing with that. It is not going to be related to the CW's Batwoman show, so it's going to be a separate continuity. It's also not going to be based on the upcoming Gotham Knights video game. It's going to be a separate continuity from that. Can't wait for that game, by the way. But this is good news. I think it could make for an interesting show. We would obviously see one of the Robins, probably Dick Grayson as Nightwing. And then we could see anyone from Huntress to Talia al Ghul to Nissa al Ghul to Selena Kyle making an appearance. We could see Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, but more likely as Oracle. We could see another version of Batgirl as well. I forget what other characters have been, what other alter egos have been Batgirl in the comics. We could see that. So this could be a very cool show, and I would just love seeing any of those characters in live action. So I'm looking forward to this. We'll have to see if it actually ever makes it to the pilot stage and if it ever makes it to air, because, you know, They were also developing at one point a series about Green Arrow and the Black Canaries, which of course ended up being canned and not moved forward with. So we may never see this, but it's in development. So that's cool. I'd actually like to see it. So there you go. That is the nerd news for now. I will have more nerd news when it happens. Until then, I wish you all peace and long life.